Hi, this is Julie at Love's Beginning, and I've been invited to explore belief versus knowing today. I don't know about you, but if you've had some challenging, intense times lately, whether it's just emotionally or physically, or it seems to relate directly to events in your life, doesn't really matter. A lot of us are going through intensity. And I think what we're always invited to energetically as we move through these times and these challenges and these perceptions is to go down, 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 below the level, the surface of the perceived separate self into the unity of us, into the oneness, and to operate from that level. So we can thank these situations for coming to us. It's a little hard if they're irritants or if they're bringing up self-doubt, fear, um, anguish, feelings of self-worth and lack of self-worth. It's difficult to thank the conditions, or even if you can't put your finger on what brought it up, to thank that situation for bringing up what feels so intensely terrible. But it comes up so it can leave. It comes up so we'll stop inviting it out in others too. It comes up for a reason. So if we can find the thank you that helps us move through it, we can also be kind to ourselves and give ourselves time to find the thank you, give ourselves time to feel. But what I'm invited to as I move through this, for me, it manifests as itchiness like eczema. That's pretty intense for me lately. It's almost like I'm itching to release what I don't need anymore, to move into the new. What I'm encouraged to put my focus on is the distinction between belief and knowing. Not knowledge, not what we accumulate and kind of use almost like a weapon, like I know this stuff and somebody else doesn't, so I will impose it upon them. Knowing is just part of your being, radiates out from you. And what I'm told is that we can invite knowing at any time. So at any moment of intensity, there's a feeling of helplessness, of grasping, of what's going on or how can I move through this. So I'm always invited to settle, of course. And I'm always reminded, sorry, scratch break. I'm always reminded, um, what am I reminded of? To go down, to go deep, to take the breath, because that will make all this stuff stop for just a moment. Just, and yes, we might still feel it burning and simmering. To me, for today, it was like self-doubt and anguish that was coming up. Felt like ancient anguish, like habituated through lifetimes, things that are like, this is really got to go. This cannot be a reference point for daily living anymore. This cannot be the platform upon which my sense of separate self stands and acts and thinks and speaks from. This has gotta go. Like, it's obviously garbage day. So I take that breath. And from that point, I can invite knowingness, because everything we need to know, everything we need to respond to every situation that comes to us, rather than reacting to it. Reacting might come from knowledge, things you think you know, and can impose upon yourself, your life, others, whatever. We tend to think we can impose knowledge. And sooner or later, when we're trying to do that, I can feel it when I'm talking to my kids and I cross that line, and they used to stop me, and now I can stop myself. So that's good. We wonder why kids might talk back or disobey or do that kind of thing. It's because they sense that rotten stink coming from us, that we're trying to impose knowledge on them. and that we're totally not recognizing their own knowing. So I'm not saying I've got the balance perfect there, but I am learning. I am learning. So we can invite knowingness at any moment, and it's equally accessible to all of us. And when we're inviting knowingness, we are accessing our true self. And when we're aware that this is something to which we always have access, the beautiful thing about it is that we become aware that everybody else has equal access to knowing. So that builds a lot of confidence, our confidence in them. Doesn't matter what their life situation is, who they are, how old they are, how young they are, if they appear to be even in a state of diminished mental capacity, what we would look at as insanity, which is sometimes very close to knowingness, because you let go of all those barriers, all those beliefs, all the knowledge, and you may be in what looks like chaos, but you're also very close to knowingness. Or somebody with dementia. It doesn't matter. Everybody, every being has equal access to knowingness. A baby, a 2-year-old, a 12-year-old. So when we know this about ourselves, when we know we can access it, we start to develop confidence in everybody else around us. And just by our confidence that they have access to knowingness, and this is really helping me with my kids. If you hear a thud, that's my son upstairs. He has a footrest and he's kind of thunking it. But anyhow, it really helps me with my kids to know that they have that access to it and to have that confidence in them. And when we know this about everybody else versus believe, there's when you've attached to a belief, and you can also try to impose that on others. I've done it. I know what it feels like. Eventually it becomes obvious that it doesn't feel good. That's a fine line between just speaking from the heart and like lecture and imposition mode. It's a fine line. When I've crossed it, I was just like, oh, sorry. Like I just stepped right in your face there, and you didn't need that from me because you have your own knowingness. I don't need to trample upon anybody's knowingness. So that's just a very useful distinction to me. And when I'm invited into seeing it and experiencing it in my life, I'm also shown like the blooming and the blossoming of everything. Because if you have confidence in everybody, not just everybody in your life, but everybody on the planet, their true beingness, and you know that can express itself, and you're open to that expressing itself, it means you're open to transformation. It means you're open to transformation in your own life too. That does not mean, there's another fine line here. Sometimes when I'm focused on transformation, I am running away from the present moment and fully allowing things to be as they are right now. So there's like that special combination, that sweet spot of, yes, I fully allow things to be as they are right now. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I allow that to be as it is right now. I know there's something in here for the highest good, and I invite knowingness to come into my experience. I'll leave the door open to inspiration. I'll have the confidence that I'll know what to do. I'll know where to go. I'm in response mode rather than reaction or defense mode. When I'm in reaction mode, I'm identifying as a separate self, and I think I have to defend it, and I think I'm under attack. And then I'm going to start feeling and thinking attack about and from others. So I go back into response mode. I'm back into knowingness. I'm back into inviting knowingness from others. And that feels like peace. So I'm wishing you well during this equinox. and hope everything goes smoothly for you and that you learn a lot. Thanks.